Hello, everybody.
Hi there.
Hope y'all had a good Friday, good week at work and whatnot.
I've had a rough day. My back is hurt all day long, and I've been sitting in a hospital parking lot all day long.
Were you waiting for test results or?
My dad, I took him to the ear, throat, and nose doctor,
Okay.
and we're hoping to get him some hearing aids eventually, but I don't know if he'll buy into it.
I've been pushing my father to get one now for freaking 10 years because he's deaf as hell.
Yeah, well, my grandma, she was super deaf, and I remember when my dad and I and my mother took Grandma Libby to the place in St. Louis, and the doctor that we were talking to was talking to us all, and Grandma's answering, and then she put a piece of paper in front of her face and kept talking to us. Grandma didn't know a thing she said because she was reading her lips. And my dad said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that my mother has been deaf for years, and I feel so horrible for her." And now he's in the exact same boat.
And I'm sure he's stubborn.
He doesn't believe it.
Yeah, mine doesn't either.
But then he gets upset when mom yells.
Yep, same
It's
thing
like-
here.
He's
I'm not.
Yeah. She'll say, like, "Do you want Reuben's or French dips tonight?" And he'll say, "What? Reuben's or French dips?" "What? Reuben's or French dips?" And he's like, "You don't have to yell about it." I feel so bad for my
It's
mom.
the same thing here. You'll be talking right at him, and he's like, he just blank stare, and so you talk louder, and he's like, "You don't have to yell at me." I'm like, I'm only yelling because you can't hear me otherwise.
Bummer.
Oh, having a bad day. Well, hopefully we can make your day a little bit better there, John.
Yeah.
Who's messaging me? Go away. I'm busy.
Having a bad day with Bob. Sorry I'm late. Oh, no. I hope you guys are okay. And poor John, he said that Ed with my hard of hearing. Yeah, but I sat next to him and he could hear a lot better than my dad. John's a really cool guy. I'd like to hang out with him a lot more. He's a super smart
I
guy.
hang out with a lot of the people we get in chats across the streams.
That's true.
Speaking of which, on those same lines, sort of, I get my vaccine tomorrow.
Do you want it?
I kind of do. I mean, our governor buckled, or didn't buckle. He buckled to one group because there was a push by a local group to get teachers and school staff vaccinated. Then the feds are pissed at him for approving teachers getting vaccinated. So I'm kind of glad he didn't buckle to the feds and decided to say, you know what? To hell with you people. My school people want vaccines. We're going to give it to them.
John, you are much younger than my dad. I wasn't comparing you to my dad. I was just comparing the hearing. Well, my mom and dad are old enough they could get it, but they don't want it.
Okay.
They already had the COVA and they had no effects. My mom was sick for about 18 hours. My dad had no effect.
Well, that's good.
And they don't think it's worth taking something, that they don't even know the list of things that can happen.
Yeah. So we're getting the Pfizer one, which is, if I had a choice, that's the one I wanted. If it was one of the other ones, I probably wouldn't have gotten it. But they put what they've seen happen, and there's more side effects on those damn drug commercials you hear on the TV. Plus, I found out after reading the sheet, their vaccine doesn't use the virus at all. So normally they use like a dumbed down version of the virus so your body reacts, but this one doesn't use that at all. So I'm hoping there won't be any too bad shit going on. Most of the people I know just said they had a little swelling on their arm where it was sore, and then a rare occurrence, like, said they got sick as a dog. But for the most part, everyone said they've been fine. So my sister had it, my brother-in-law had it because they work at hospitals. They had no problems from it. So
Yeah, Rob on. Is it Rob 94?
93, I don't know, something 90 something, 93.
Yeah, Rob, super cool Rob.
Yeah.
Say that. He had it, and he had no effect, so that's good.
I'm more getting it because I live with, my folks are older, and I work in a school, so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get it to keep them safe.
Yeah, I understand. That's cool.
Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have cared too much because I don't go out much anyway.
Aw. Talking about going out, I went out this week, other than like taking my parents to the doctor and stuff.
Did you go see a movie?
I did.
What'd you say?
I saw Little Things. Okay. It's the Denzel Washington and Jay Leto, or not Jay Leno, Jay Leto. He's the singer guy. He played the Joker in
Rami Malek?
No.
Jared Leto?
Yes, Jared Leto. I think he's a super cool actor.
How was it?
I don't like those type of movies.
What kind of movie was it?
It's a detective movie.
Oh, okay. I was the picture looks familiar.
Yeah, and Denzel Washington is kind of like Al Pacino. People say that they're super great because they've played great roles, but all their roles have been identical. Have you ever noticed that? I mean, he's normally always a tough guy. But this one, I don't know if it's with his age or what, but I think he actually acted in this one, other than just pretending like. And I mean, he's like a really smart guy in real life too, but he just plays himself, I think, in movies generally.
Yeah.
But in this one, he did a really good job. Now, the one movie I didn't see him in was that pilot movie where he was drinking, but he saved everybody from crashing.
I remember hearing about that one. I never saw it, though.
Yeah, that looked boring to me, too. But maybe he was a great actor in that one. But, I've seen him in all these other movies, and I liked him in Equalizer, and I loved him in the, was it Elijah or, the apocalyptic one?
Book of Eli?
Book of Eli, yeah. I knew it was some type of an apostle, but so I like his role, but it's just like Pacino. He's had some great roles, but he's always the same guy. The only Pacino does two types of acting. Sometimes he's just normal, or sometimes he's chewing gum. I mean, really, I don't like Pacino at all, but. Washington did a really good job in this movie. That singer guy, Jared Leto, is that what you called him? It's
Jared Leto.
That dude has crazy range. He was creepy in this movie. I thought the guy that was in Queen, that robot guy.
Yeah.
I think it's his worst acting I've ever seen him do. He was terrible. He tried this stupid character, and it was just terrible. So he was kind of annoying because he was just weird. I don't know, just really strange. And he was fantastic in other things. So I don't think is ideal for this guy.
The role wasn't really written for him, maybe.
I don't know. He was just kind of an oddball. It was weird. But I saw that because I had hardly any choices. There's one theater in Chattanooga that shows 11 to 12 movies in the middle of the week in the whole metropolitan area. And it's like maybe 45 minutes from downtown Chattanooga. It's kind of out in a smaller town. But and it's an independent place. It looks like a castle. It was really cool. It's the first time I ever went there. They only show them on Wednesday, so it's really weird. So, I mean, they show the normal movies on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like all AMC's, but then they do this one showing of all their movies on Wednesday.
Oh.
And it's $6 to get in. Their nachos were terrible, but I'm not going to criticize that place. But my choices were Tom and Jerry. And they had Tom and Jerry in 3 theaters.
Oh.
And I don't understand how they can not put kids in school because of the COVA, but yet, 200 of them can pile into the movie theaters. But whatever.
Yeah.
I understand parents having them at home and they got to do something with them occasionally. So my choices were the Tom and Jerry movie, the How to Catch a Dragon movie, Wonder Woman, which I already hated that. There's a movie called The Marksman, and it's a Liam Neeson movie. And Liam Neeson is another guy that doesn't have much range in his acting.
Yeah, it's kind of just him.
He's really cool, but yeah, he doesn't have much range at all.
Not much emoting going on there. It's just kind of a one tone.
And I looked up the reviews on that, and he's like a farmer that fights against coyotes. And when I say coyotes, I mean Mexican coyotes.
Yeah.
And he's trying to save an immigrant boy that the coyotes are trying to chase or something.
Okay.
I don't know. It just
sounds familiar now.
It seemed kind of cliche. So I'll probably see that on next Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Because there's just no other adult movies right now.
Yeah, I guess they're kind of releasing them in drabs now because of COVID.
Yeah. If it's really good, they're trying to hold it off till summer. And hopefully enough people have shots. And
I think
there's 18 that have dropped. 18 states have dropped the mask ban.
I don't know. If we listen to what we've been told, it'll be sometime next year that everything's somewhat back to normal. Because I think Fauci was on the news like last week or the week before, and someone had asked him the question point blank, now that we have a vaccine, like when can we go back to some semblance of normalcy? And he said everyone should get comfortable that we'll be wearing masks well into 2022. And I'm like, hey, you just moved the goalpost again.
And the masks are like a chain link fence throwing sand.
Yeah.
It'll stop that much. Because if you can smell through your mask, virus things is...
A lot of people don't they're like, oh, I have an N95. I'm like, are you fitted for it?
It's a placebo. It's all it is a placebo.
Yeah.
Because hazmat suits stop viruses.
Yes.
Gas masks that fit tight would, but I mean, I watch people walking around with these masks hanging like this with their nose hanging out. And it's like, I understand it's supposed to stop their cough or whatever, but
it's from what I understand, it's more to stop your breathing out of germs than it is filtering in. Now, Dirty Platty has asked us a question.
Yes. And we shouldn't probably be talking about this.
Honestly, if you're fine with it, I don't care. I mean, it's fine with
it's your show.
That's fine. They asked, how is America going to deal with asymptomatic people who refuse to get the vaccine? Well, first of all, we'd have to test our entire population to find out who's asymptomatic. Second of all, it's still technically the United States, and I don't think they can technically force you to get a vaccine.
But they can make it so you can't get on planes.
True.
They'll probably start issuing, if it's real hardcore, it'll be you get a card.
They'll make it harder for you to do normal things without being vaccinated. That's typically how we fix things in this country. We just make it hard as hell to do anything, to force people to do what they don't want to do.
Kind of like taxes. Taxes are illegal, or not illegal, but they're not supposed to be part of our government. Like federal taxes. But how we've done federal taxes is if you want to use banks, you have to pay taxes. You don't have to pay federal tax if you don't want to use our banking system. So if you go straight cash, credit cards are considered part of the banking system. But you can actually get off the grid and not have to pay taxes if you don't use the banking system.
This is true.
It's super hard, but that's how our government, because, we were set up so we wouldn't have to pay taxes to a king or a federal government. And then, but I mean, you still have to, because you still have
there's no other way to run anything. It just it just sucks that every time you turn around, it's we need money to pay for this thing that we passed, so we're gonna tax you people more. But yeah,
the stuff they're doing though, I don't know how they could even tax us. I don't know. I think they can only print money for it now.
That's what my dad says. He's like, how are we gonna pay for it? I said they'll just print more money. That's what they do. But yeah, I don't. Yeah. To find everyone that's asymptomatic, we'd literally have to test the entire country. And that's a violation of privacy, as far as I'm aware. So you can't just go around and say, okay, you're getting swabbed today.
Yep. So it's crazy.
Oh, that's some good news. James just got a free tank dropped off at his house.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, James is actually here.
I know, it's rare that James is awake at this hour.
I'm just messing with you, James. He's an awesome guy. Man, last night was my first night of monetization. Mm-hmm. And I was so embarrassed. Everybody was so crazy nice to me. There was so many people donated money. I couldn't even see the names.
Wow.
I could only scroll up so far. Like at the end when you're supposed to thank people, I scrolled up and I couldn't see but like the last 5 people. It was insane, and so nice and humbling. I don't know. I totally don't deserve it. But,
yes, you do. You're in how many live streams a week? 5? 7?
I do it because it's fun.
I know.
I'm not doing it for money.
Hey, there's another name we haven't seen in a while. Peter's in the chat.
Oh, man, it is great to see the Guppy Guru. Hey, Peter, my friend Ken said he met you. That's awesome. I've got some friends that I play a video game on the telephone with, and I told him about his fish store. My buddy, he sells rams, real pretty rams. He has an RO system and everything. He does a really good job. Yeah, because I told him he ought to try to hook up with Peter and see if Peter needs rams for the collective or something, Because he said he used to sell rams to all the fish stores out there in Salt Lake City. The problem is there's only so many rams that you need. So, yeah, I don't know how Salt Lake City, if there's a lot of cities around there, if it's a long travel to get anywhere else, or maybe he just didn't think it was worth traveling to sell his rams either.
Yeah, some people don't want to go through all the work.
Yeah, my dad, man, I don't know how many fish stores. We would drive hours to get to fish store. But my dad was also the same guy who would go down by the river and look for aluminum cans to get recycle them for a half a penny or a penny back then.
We would just recycle my dad's beer cans.
Well, my dad had a wonderful job too. So it's just, I think it was just, he wanted to have a side hustle for some reason. And then when my brother came along, he was so sickly. My dad kind of just gave up all the side hustles. So, yep. Oh well. Boy, I sure did go crazy on this stream.
Where was it? I saw it. Where'd it go?
And I haven't been.
Oh, Peter said we buy some from Ken when we can.
What did he say?
We buy some from Ken when we can. So I'm assuming he's bought rams before from him.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, Peter got cichlids. Cool.
Oh, nice.
And James is, let's see. So it's a 55 gallon, but it's taller. I still don't have anything that big.
Well, it's about time
For
you to get a big ass tank.
I would love
I was on Brienne's show on Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, and I don't know how it happened, but halfway through, I think I maybe made a joke saying, well, you could get rid of your bed and put in a big fish tank for discus, and maybe you could make it a bunk bed and sleep above. They ended up doing it.
Wow.
Her mom and dad are so supportive of that little girl. That's awesome.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I really tried, I have a spot for one more tank, but it would have to be like PetSmart sells a 65, but it's like a low profile 65, so it's not as long. It's more like short and tall. So I'm like, I could get that and put that over by my window, but you know, my dad's still worried the floor is going to eventually, cave in on itself.
Well, you graduated college and you have a full-time job and you live at home.
Yes.
You could actually buy a house and just put fish tanks in it and stay at your mom and dad's and just have it as your fish house.
I guess.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I mean, that would require a bank giving me a mortgage when I only make $16,000 a year.
Oh, jeepers! That might be tough. It might be tough to buy a house in Connecticut.
Oh yeah, no. Low income in Connecticut's considered $500,000.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Pridemore Fish said, did a water change in a tank, and the next day all the fish were dead. Anyone know the best way to clean the tank to get rid of whatever got in the tank?
Sometimes I've heard that they'll put something terrible in your water system, or people have had that, like when they're doing a water change.
Yeah.
And they put something bad in the pipes.
That's what I was going to say. How big of a water change did you do? Was it like a 20% or was it like a 50 or 80% water change, Pridemore? Like,
it doesn't matter if it killed all of his fish.
I guess. But like my water bottles from the tap, when I open this, it smells like chlorine. That's how much chlorine they've put in our water the last year because of COVID.
That's a bummer. You see, and I don't test my water every time.
No. Why would you think to?
For bad times like that.
True. I mean, the only you can, if there's a lot of chlorine, you can usually smell it. Like if they flush the pipes, the water is usually either discolored or it's got the smell of bleach or chlorine in it. That's the only reason I knew they increased it. For the last year, because last March during spring, they usually do the flush and then everything's back to normal. So it could be that your water company was doing a flush of the system just to make sure everything worked fine and you just caught a bad day. Because the same thing happened to Lisa, right? She had rummy nose in her discus and did a water change and all the rummy nose died.
I did a water change once and all my discus died.
Oof.
But I also, one time, the water line, we had a tremendous amount of rain. It was like almost 2.5 feet of rain in 48 hours out where I lived in Missouri. Mm-hmm. And it washed out a road that was a gravel road. And it washed out the first day a big trench. And so what they did is they put a great big metal plate. People could drive over it. Well, the next day there was even more rain and the plate fell and the water main was underneath that road and it severed it. And I got so much brown or black. My water looked like it was coming right from the Mississippi or something. It was nasty. Hopefully. And they didn't even put a boil effect on my house. They said, "Oh, we thought that the water main was past your house or something." I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Wow.
It was gross. And it was so bad. Like, I had a pretty good sized house that I'm just a single guy, so I like hardly ever used the tub on the other side of the house.
Right.
And one day I was using the tub and I turned it on. This is like months later, and it started shooting that same stuff. So it got flushed through all my pipes.
Oh.
And it came out that day on the other side of it. So then I just turned every faucet on in the house and just
drained the entire house. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know if you have any more tanks, Predmore, but I would just say if you have a chlorine test kit, just test it to see. Or you can I think you can call. I know here I can call my water company or send them a message and request a test on our water, or just what's in the water content, whatever.
You can ask them if they've dumped something just lately.
I specifically asked ours last year when we noticed that there was more chlorine in the water. They flat out told me we didn't do anything to your water, and I was like, then why does it smell like bleach now? Hey, Peplin. Hey, Corridorable. How's it going?
Oh, so I saw the movie, and that made me happy. Yeah. So I was happy, and then I went to Walmart, and I bought a movie.
Oh, what'd we buy?
Well, I thought this had to be a winner because I love Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
And I love crocodiles. So I got Croczilla.
Okay.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I can imagine. Wait, it says includes 4. And 4 what?
4 bonus movies.
What are the bonus movies?
Attack of the Giant Leeches.
Okay. I think I remember that one.
These are all Japanese movies. So I got you have.
It sounds familiar.
Piranha. Not piranhas. Piranha. Killer Shrews. Yeah. These are terrible. But I left it in the DVD player.
Oh no, you're gonna ruin it, Ed.
It wasn't even a big alligator. Well, I mean, it was a big alligator. It was like a 25-foot alligator.
Oh,
but
so like the one from Lake Placid?
Yeah. Well, I never saw Lake Placid.
Oh, big alligator.
Yeah, this one's like ripping through a city, and I thought that was gonna be cool. It like rips through one of their houses as it goes through the walls, trying to eat the person that discovered it. So, like, actually, it started off. This girl happened to be. She was in France, and she had €1 million that she earned over 8 years in France.
Wow.
And she was going to come home and retire with it or something in Japan. And she had it in her purse, and the alligator chased her up a telephone pole, and she was whacking the alligator with her bag with all of her money.
With a bag full of money?
And it ate the money.
Oh, no.
So the whole time she's trying to find the croc to get the money.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, it was terrible. But for some reason, the croc was trying to find her, too.
Oh, so it was the Jaws movie where the mom and the shark were connected.
Yeah, Jaws Revenge, Part 4. That was a horrible movie. I have that too. I own that movie. But yeah, so and then so I guess the police don't have guns in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to check out a gun. And the gun they gave him was like a .38. It's a little bitty pistol. And he shot the alligator from like 50 yards away and killed it with this one little bitty bullet.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. Good shot for a guy who doesn't even shoot. But, oh well. Yeah, so she got her money back. They said that euros don't die. Euros are really expensive money, or it's really good money, so it won't digest like all the other humans that it was eating.
Oh, well, that's
so it
good
sat
for
in
her.
Yeah, it sat in this gator's stomach for like 2 weeks as it ate, everybody in the village. She got her money back at the end. It was a happy story. And she fell in love with the cop. Boy, I'm just spoiling this movie for y'all.
Chat, how many of you wanted to see Croczilla? Yeah, I mean, you're all rushing to your local Walmart to see if you could find it, right?
It's in the $5 bin.
So we get like a Japanese movie channel here. For some reason, it's part of our package.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I think they had a bunch of Mothra movies on one day. So I'm pretty sure I did see Attack of the Leeches because I pulled it up and it looks very familiar. I just want to show chat, one of the pictures of the giant leeches.
Oh my gosh.
So that's a human in a leech suit.
Leeches with arms.
These movies all sounded like those low-budget sci-fi films that sci-fi just kept pumping out for no reason at all. Like, nobody asked for Sharktopus or, Dino Shark.
Croczilla, where it all started was this one guy just had crocodiles. He had a crocodile farm. And this other guy had a restaurant who liked to serve crocodile.
Uh-oh.
And he bought the guy out, and he didn't want to sell his giant crocodile, but he sold it because the guy really wanted it to serve all the city.
Oh.
And he let it go. Or, well, he didn't let it go. It broke loose because they were torturing it. Because that's what you like to do, is torture a giant animal.
Of course, why not? Or experiment on them.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, there was no reason that it was gigantic. It didn't say that it was radiated or anything. It just happened to grow up gigantic.
Oh, it was like Hogzilla. It was natural.
Yeah. Hogzilla?
Croczilla.
Oh, yes.
Wait, no, remember the Hogzilla thing where like guys down south somewhere said they shot this giant hog? It was all over the news. Hey, Scott.
Well, you see, maybe it was when I wasn't living in the South.
Well, let
maybe I was living in the
show
Midwest.
you the picture of Hogzilla, which for some reason I think they buried or some stupid bull crap, and then when people went to find it, it wasn't as big as they said it was naturally. That's Hogzilla.
Yeah, I've seen pigs that big.
I don't know. It was supposed to be like this giant, massive pig.
I mean, it's a big pig. And for a wild pig, but would it be grandfather-in-law? My uncle's wife's father. So
yeah, I have no clue.
Okay, well, I never had any grandpas because both my grandpas died before I was born. But I used to go to his pig farm all the time because it was so much fun when I'd go to Iowa. And he had some pigs. He had like some Volkswagens, like old Volkswagens out there, and the pigs would push them around and stuff. It was cool. And then we would have fun feeding them, and we realized they were eating these really big weeds that we were cutting. Mm-hmm. And it turned out those weren't weeds. They were all of his tobacco plants we were feeding the hogs.
Oh.
My cousin Malia and I were feeding the pigs all of his tobacco. It was hilarious.
So the internet says it's possible that would be a great uncle at that point. But who really knows? Because the English language is very confusing.
Oh, what's this cosplay stuff?
Who's cosplaying?
I don't know. Is Fat Man and Core Adorable talking about it, or? I don't know. I love dressing up.
It appears Tom Holland will be very busy with movies this year.
That might be the show I watch next Wednesday.
I think we already know about 5 of them.
Wow.
So far. There's a new Spider-Man coming out this year.
Is the Spider-Man coming out this year, or is it being made this year and coming out 22?
It says release date December 17th this year.
Oh, okay. They're going to put it out right before Christmas.
We've got the Uncharted movie that I knew about.
No idea what that is.
Uncharted is a video game where kind of like you're stranded on an island or something.
Okay.
There's the Cherry movie. I think you talked about that one last week. With the Russo brothers doing it.
I already
Maybe.
forgot. I
Oh.
don't remember anything from last week.
Then
My
there's
back is really sore, guys.
I saw another trailer on I think I was watching YouTube or something. It's called Chaos Walking. It's kind of like a
Yes,
post-apocalyptic one.
that's what I'll be watching next week.
That looks interesting.
It looks kind of bad.
Oh, well. I thought it looked interesting.
Well, is it the one where you imagine there's a snake behind you and people see the snake and they run away?
I don't think so.
Somehow Tom Holland hooks up with this girl and she can make people see whatever he wants to think.
Oh, maybe it is then, because he does hook up with a chick.
Well, he probably hooks up with a lot of chicks.
True.
But yeah, I don't know. It kind of sounds far out. It kind of sounds like they should be super twins or something.
I think it's safe to say that him getting the Spider-Man role has been very good for his career.
Oh, heck yeah. Well, he's an amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, I know he'll be in Venom 2. And he might be another Jared Leto movie. Morpheus. I think.
Okay.
He's supposed to be just in a little bit of that.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting where they go with Morpheus. I think it's called Morpheus. He's the guy who he had some type of blood disease and he injected bat blood in himself in the comic books and became like a vampire.
Oh.
But in the comic books, it was real stupid because he had little suckers on the ends of his fingers and he would suck people with his fingers instead of his mouth. But they've maybe improved it too since then. But he's like a vampire, but not a real vampire.
Oh.
And so like Blade doesn't want to kill him because he's not like the type of vampires that Blade kills.
I'm not monetized, so I don't care about copyright crap.
They should be happy that you're showing their commercial. But he hated Peter Parker and they went to college, or he went to college with Peter.
Okay.
And I think he was in love with the girl that loved Peter, but Peter wasn't into the girl.
Okay.
I don't know. There's so many
variations
Spider-Man stories.
Yeah.
And it was like back in high school when I read these. But this one is kind of interesting. I think this is a better storyline than the comic book storyline on how he gets his power. But it still starts off, I think he's like sickly and he goes to try to find a cure.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like so far.
Kind of like with Venom, Venom was a parasite that was on an asteroid or something out in space, and Eddie Brock got it on him out in space instead
I
of
still have to see that movie.
You haven't seen the new Venom movie?
No.
They totally changed the whole story or how it all happens, but they did a really good job. I actually enjoyed that movie.
I assumed it'd be good, but everyone of course hated it because it wasn't like a rated R movie.
Oh,
that's
stupid. But
look, he's healed.
3, yeah. But he ends up becoming a good guy. He starts off
good
as a bad guy because he has these powers and he's bitter. Well, in the comic book, he was bitter towards Peter. And then he got bitter that the girl thought he was repulsive. Because he turns real white and gets the teeth like vampire bat. I think his nose goes up and he may have gotten all of his black hair turned white.
Oh.
In the comic book. But I'm pretty sure there was a comic book line with him, Ghost Rider, and Blade.
Mm-hmm.
and they went after like supernatural people.
Okay. So Fat Man Aquatics has a question. They asked you, did you ever read the storyline where Deadpool gets the Venom symbiote?
No, that sounds pretty cool. I'll have to check that out.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, because you would think that the Venom would love that.
Yeah.
Unless Deadpool, though, he could jump in a vat of acid and then his molecules still reform. Deadpool, in the comic books, is always trying to die.
Mm-hmm.
But not only does he have the immune ability to stay alive, but death. He's in love with, or death is in love with him.
Okay.
And I think it was Thanos is in love with death. And Thanos hates Deadpool because death loves Deadpool. And somehow he did something to curse him so he could never die.
Oh.
So not only does he have the immune ability not to die, he also has a magic, like, deity power, like, you know, the snap, not to die. So, I mean, he's
a messed up love triangle.
Yeah. But I think she likes him just because she can't get him. You know, typical girl.
So
Sorry, ladies. There's no typical women in this audience. You guys are all awesome.
I am almost done rewatching Stargate SG-1.
Oh, cool.
I because it was on when I was younger. It was on like right where it was. I could remember parts of it, but not the whole thing. Because I think when it first aired, its first 2 seasons were on one network. Then another network picked it up for 2 seasons, and then I think season 5 is when Sci-Fi finally picked it up and ran with it. So it had a really weird history of runtime. So I don't think I ever saw the first 2 seasons right away. So when I saw it on Netflix, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to rewatch this because I remember watching it and really liking it." And having done that, I can I don't like season 9 and 10 anymore. The last 2 seasons
without Jackson.
Well, that was what those seasons I didn't mind. This is when I didn't mind Jonas Quinn. I was fine with him.
I thought Jonas was dumb.
This is at the point where O'Neill is no longer on the show at all.
Oh yeah.
And Landry comes over, and then Mitchell comes on. I could have handled O'Neill disappearing if they just kept the same SG-1 members.
You gotta keep MacGyver. He was the best thing about the show.
Well, he only left because he wanted to spend time with his daughter. So I can understand.
Just stop the show. Or make less episodes. I don't know. You got to have MacGyver. And the first Stargate, I loved the movie.
The movie was great. Yeah.
I love Kirk Russell. Everything Kirk Russell does, I love. And yeah, that was super good. And I was like, there's no way they can get anybody to play Kirk Russell's role. Right. And then MacGyver pulls it off, and he's amazing. And those glasses he wears with the I can't remember what they're called. They're like
aviators.
Yeah, but they have like the ski things on it, so you don't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I want a pair of those so bad. I've been looking for those literally for 20 years now. If I ever find them at a Salvation or an Army surplus store or something, I'm going to buy them.
I'm sure you can find them.
Probably at a ski lodge for $180. I don't want to spend that. I had a pair when I was a kid because Michael Jackson used to wear them.
Oh.
And I loved them. But, I see Brienne here. Brienne, did you get rid of your bed for the discus tank, or how's it working? I gotta know. Maybe she left already. No.
Well, my charger fell out. Hopefully this headset is charged enough. Pro tip, if you have a wireless headset, don't forget to charge it.
Uh-oh. I don't, because I want a place for Deadpool to hang.
Oh, I could put him on my boom arm.
I have the wireless mouse, though, so I'm kind of technically cool.
My mouse is wired.
But I'm about to do something that I didn't think I would do.
Oh?
I'm going to sign up for the Disney Channel so I can watch the Mandalorian movie or TV show.
You're gonna sign up for Disney Plus?
Yes. And I think I might do it. Oh man, I think somebody maybe asked me to be on a show on Sunday.
Uh-oh.
That's not good. I'm trying to remember who asked me to do a show on Sunday.
All right, chat. Who was it? I'm sure they're in here.
See, that's what's scary when you have more than one person ask you to do something, be a guest at a time. I get them mixed up. Oh, nope. Priscilla asked me to be on Saturday night on her show. I think at 10 o'clock. So I'm going to be on Priscilla's as her special guest or co-host or whatever she wants me to do.
Nice.
She's so smart. She's awesome.
Everybody's awesome.
Yeah. But so I'll be doing, I always hang out with James on Saturday night. And then I'll after James's show, I'll have like an hour off, and then I'll go straight to hers after Jethro's is done.
Awesome.
Yep.
I will probably be sleeping. Actually, no, I think Saturday, after I get my shot, I think I'm going to a friend's house for a fire outside.
You should do that. You're young, and you should have fun.
Well, the problem is the high school group has split. Well, we got people moved that way, and
you're hanging out with high schoolers.
My group of friends from high school.
Oh, so you go to high school to meet your friends?
Totally.
You are a teacher, so it could be high school teachers.
True. Well, in high school, we used to go to the elementary school and hang out at the playground because there was nothing better to do in our town. But no, because it was either you came to my house or you went to this other guy's house, and he moved to New York for work. So,
and you don't have room anymore because you have fish tanks.
Exactly. So when it's cold out, we really don't get together. Once it gets a little warmer, we'll probably go outside and crap, and then hang out and fish during the summer.
Well, that sounds fun. I would do that.
I miss fishing. I miss just going out.
I'm not that famous, or I'm not famous at all.
Ed needs a personal secretary.
Well, I have James.
Oh, okay.
And James has Zen, so.
James, what's your WPM?
I don't even know what that means.
Words per minute.
Oh. Mine is about 8. And what's worse is like I can do the voice to chat, but it doesn't understand me because I'm in the South and I don't have a Southern accent.
Yeah.
So seriously, because when I was in St. Louis, I did not have nearly as many errors. But now that I'm here, it's like it's just such bizarre stuff that it says. It's like so off the wall. And then it's like, oh, I gotta back up. My fingers are too big to push on the thing. Drives me nuts.
The only time I ever use text to speech or like either microphone on my phone is when I'm driving. The lady looks something up.
I use it 80-90% of the time.
Yes, anyone that has texted with Ed anywhere has noticed this. You'll get a text and you'll be like, okay, what word is he trying to say? You need a decoder ring to read Ed's messages half the time.
If there's misspellings, then it's me typing, and explanation points because I like to add those when I actually type. But I can't say exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation. I can only say exclamation point once for it to work when you're doing voice to chat.
Right.
So you only get one when I'm talking, but I do actually say that.
Okay. So, which Death Star is behind you?
Well, both of these guys are kind of stars of death.
Okay.
I've got the Creature and Lecter, and they're buddies. Oh, look, his hand like fits perfect on his shoulder. No. I don't know if it's even like a particular one. It's just
Well, it's
a
completed,
knockoff.
so we're gonna say it's the first one.
Yeah. Or well, it could be the blueprints.
True.
But you can change colors. The one thing though I don't like about this, it has no off.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, so I literally have to. Is this one going to change the different colors? No. I'm trying to find the one that changes the colors. It's really spazzy when it does it. It's not quick at all. I mean, it's not. It doesn't have real rhythm. Okay, apparently it doesn't change colors at all anymore. Like, rotate colors.
Oh, it used to go through the spectrum?
Yeah, but there's no off, so I have to literally take the batteries out and put them in.
That's kind of sucky. I had one of those. It was the I think it was one of the ships from Mass Effect. I think it was the Destiny 2. I can't remember.
Well, I like the green version because the Rebels had like a green version where they were using as a map.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I kind of like.
It also, the green goes well in that corner too.
They're like, okay, the plan is go down the crack, you see, and shoot down the hole. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I bought one for me and one for my brother.
Nice.
And it's been in a box forever. And I thought, you know what? I am going to pull it out and see what happens. See if it looks.
We still have to do that stream where we rate the Star Wars movies from worst to best sometime.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
We'll have to see if we can find a guest to have on for that one, like we did with Harry Potter. We haven't had guests on in a while.
Yeah, we haven't.
We'll have to start planning.
Yeah. If there's any nerds out there,
I'm sure Rico will hop on sometime.
Oh my gosh, yes, he would love it.
Because I got stickers from Rico today. I got a card in the mail. I'm like, who the hell do I know up in New York? And then I see R and then his last name. I'm like, is it Rico? Because at first I thought it was Pokemon cards since I've been ordering a lot. But then I opened it up and I'm like, this is an actual card. Like a reading card. So it wasn't.
I got an awesome card in the mail from Pepplin Creek.
Nice.
Yep. An old fullback for the Chiefs. Let's
Very
see what the stats were. This card is probably worth 2 cents. But that's money. If I had 1 million of this card, I'd be set. Okay, in 89, he ran the ball 23 times for 121 yards. The next year, he ran the ball 14 times. The next year, 10. Next year, 21.
See you, fat man. Have a good day.
Blocker. See you, fat man. It was great having you here, dude. You're awesome. We ought to see if he's a nerd. Maybe he would.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of nerdy things, I get into work today, and one of the third grade teachers is like, I got something for you. I'm like, oh? She's like, yeah, my son got some General Mills cereal, and I got some Pokemon cards for you.
That's cool.
Well, I got free Pokemon cards when I walked into work today.
That's great.
It was a fun time. And then the district internet wasn't working. So like it worked from 7 o'clock in the morning to like 8:10. And then for the rest of the day, it was either not working or would work for 5 minutes and stop. So all the meetings I was supposed to cover for were Zoom calls online with parents and teachers. So I got to sit down and do nothing today.
Wow. Now that's how you earn your money.
Well, that was the best thing about the pandemic last year. I literally got paid from March to June to do nothing.
I'm going to take a photo of me talking about
Trash pandas.
Trash pandas.
Oh, let me get Zen in here. We're talking about pandas.
Trash Pandas is my game of the week. It's a card game. I've never played it.
Oh.
My friend Sean Peck, he likes this game a lot, and he's even done a review on his channel. And I bought this so the next time that James and I take Sean somewhere, he can teach us and have fun.
Cool.
But he's like taught lots of YouTubers how to play this game, and every YouTuber says they love it. And these are people that aren't nerds.
Okay.
So it's super cool. And it is a panda. It's a trash panda, but it's actually raccoons.
Oh, well, I mean, that's technically a trash panda.
Yeah, well, that is it. Yeah. And she loves pandas, but she has like a red panda as her image.
I believe she's a red panda, yes.
So, I mean, that's not even like a real panda. That's like a half raccoon, half panda. But you have these little discs that do something.
Discs that do something, chat.
Yeah. I don't know what they do. You have dice, so you can go to the woods, roll again, I think, or recycle your food. I don't know. Trash cans, which is probably a really good thing because that means you get food. Oh, there's a couple of these. I don't know what that means. It means maybe something. This one looks like somebody gave you food. So, or dropping. So, yeah, that's a terrible description of this game.
There are things and stuff that do things and stuff, chat.
Yeah. And like, if you have this card, you can re-roll your last dice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think it might be worth 13 points. But I have no idea.
Right.
I'm just seeing that there's a 13 on it.
There's a 13 on the card, chat.
Yes, there's a 13. And then this looks like some type of token actions card.
Okay.
So, but and then there's also like board game or just a description and stuff. But I found normally you only find this at game shops, but now Walmart's carrying it.
You can also get it on Amazon, chat, for $8.79.
That's about, I think, what I paid at Walmart. But if it's on Amazon, well, no, not on Amazon. But if it's at Walmart, it's going to blow up.
Yes, it probably will. Ooh, is that other games that company makes?
Yeah. None of these are very good. I'm trying to see if there's any I recognize. Forbidden Island. Sean bought that while we were in Indianapolis.
So you're looking at the front side. I'm looking at the back side. I don't recognize anything on the back.
Yeah. The sandwich game looks good.
Oh, the under one. I've played that one before. The one on the other side.
Oh, they got a game called Chomp. It's a gator. It's a crocodile.
Oh, I have that dragon game on my wish list for someone to buy me from my sister.
Oh, is it expensive?
I don't think so. It looked interesting, so I was like, "Oh, this is a fun game." I added to my list.
Well, write that down as my gift for you, for Christmas or something.
Does it have it on here? Anyway, my game is called Fun Employment or Fun Employed.
That sounds horrible.
So this is it. It's a card game.
Oh,
what are the odds? What's the cards today, Ed?
Oh, it's a Kickstarter.
Oh, well, I guess it was a Kickstarter. It's on Amazon, so I'm assuming it's no longer on Kickstarter.
Well, Amazon's a good place to find things because people will overbuy the Kickstarters because it's a lot more affordable, and then they sell them after they come out.
So in this game, you're applying for a job. So you have the boss who's interviewing you, and they draw the cards. So say you're going to be a celebrity impersonator, and then you have 4 cards that you have to use to tell someone why you're the best choice for the job. So like you could have one that says like I'm good with knives, or I have a lot of hats, or just some stupid crap that's written on the cards. And then the person next to you, to your left, I think, or your right, picks a card that's a bad card and gives it to you, and you have to somehow incorporate that into your resume. So it's just a fun little silly game you can play with people. Look how happy these paid models are playing this game.
Wow, that looks great. Do they all have to sit next to each other though? Because that might get hot.
Why he looks so sad that he got professional cuddler as a job. But like, here's some of the stuff. So we
That
got.
sounds like a wonderful job.
Oh,
I'm like a professional cat cuddler.
These are wonderful qualifications right here that this person had. They have crabs.
He has
They have
crabs?
crabs. They're broke. They're a trisexual, and they have a heavy flow.
Wow.
Those are their qualifications to have that job.
That's kind of gross. I don't think I'd want to cuddle with somebody that has crabs. Well, maybe it depends on what type of crabs they have.
This one's got a Russian accent. We got split personality, sneaky, and safety scissors. So yeah, you just gotta take those 4 cards and make your pitch to be that person, and then whoever has the most job cards at the end wins. I think it's first to 5 or something, but I'm sure you can modify that to fit your needs.
The crab thing is one of the funniest things I ever saw. It was my first year working at the auto factory, and everybody had to sign up for what they were going to bring to this giant Christmas potluck type thing. And there's this lady, her name was Linda Reed. She was the shop steward at the time. So, she'd been around forever, but somebody wrote down Linda Reed is going to bring a case of crabs. That was the funniest thing I'd ever seen as a joke. And I want to do that someday if I ever can see a potluck thing. So, like, if I'm ever at a church, watch out. Bring it up for potlucks. I'll sign up the preacher's wife. Case of crabs. Oh, gosh. Hi, Zen. I love pandas.
Yes, hello, Zen. I summoned her with talk of pandas. I texted her. I'm like, hey, we're talking about pandas.
That is so cool. She is a pandaholic.
For the record, Zen, they were raccoons. Not the kind of pandas you like, but they were still pandas.
No, she should love raccoons because they look a lot like pandas.
Yes, they're trash pandas, Zen.
They're
Come on,
North
now.
American raccoons. Super fun game.
So yes, that's how James applies for jobs. He just brings random cards with things written on them.
Nice. That's probably why he's unemployed.
Just throws him down. I have my own safety scissors.
Oh. That might score you some points with your own safety scissors. Uh-oh. Did you just get some bad news?
Oh, no, I just have to go feed the dog.
Oh.
So I'll be back in like 2 minutes, chat. Ed can entertain y'all. I'll be right back.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about now. And I can't do the freeze thing because the fish are swimming in the background. They look good, though. I just moved these guys. Oh, no. Yes. Those are my Lucas Brett Galaxies. And I just moved them into that tank, and I really like them there. They're a little unusual, though, because most guppies like to sleep on the bottom, but these guys actually like sleep in the leaves and stuff, which is kind of pretty cool. I like seeing that. It's like mollies and swordtails like to sleep in the weeds. So they do that, and it's kind of cool. Oh, my gosh, Daniken is in the house. I wonder if he sold a car today. Kenny, is it raining? He says that he told me it's a lot better to sell cars when it's not raining. Cool things. And Zen, you forgot it was Friday. Well, thank you. Oh, and she loves Trash Pandas too. Wait, do you like the game or do you like the cute little critters? Because that's important. I saw a cool video today on YouTube where this guy took out a whole big hornet nest at his brother's house. His brother was walking and got stung by a whole mess of these hornets. and he's like a beekeeper. So poor beekeepers get stuck taking care of hornets all the time because I guess they have the suits. But he used frozen or dry ice, and he put it on the holes, or put it on the hole at the top. And the dry ice, he said that it's cold, or it's heavier than air. So as it melts, it would go down into their like layer or the hive that's underground, and it totally worked. It put all the wasps to sleep. It's pretty cool. I don't know if I want to find a nest, but if I ever do, I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind that I can take care of it that way. I never played the game, but it sounds funnish. Well, Zen, we need to hook up somewhere and play it.
When you drop off her plecos.
Yeah. Except it'd be fun if we had a bunch of people. So like
it would.
Maybe you should go with me to the pleco. Would you like to go to Houston?
It all depends on when you're going.
Well, you got to pack a warm jacket and swim trunks because you never know, I guess.
I guess not.
It's one of those places that gets crazy cold, is what I understand.
So I got a gift from a student. So when I was at the other school last Friday, this little girl came up to me and she hands me something. And then when she's getting ready to leave, I go to give it back to her because I'm like, it's yours, it's not mine. And she looks up at me, she's like, no, that's for you. I'll be right back again.
Oh. Well, we got to make sure we find out why the little girl gave him the thing, because that sounds cute. Sounds like Kira was dealing with wasps last summer. I wonder what type of wasps they have up there in Canada. Since I've moved down south, they've got these crazy wasps that are super hard to kill. They're red. And like I smashed one with a broom like 50 times. I was like breaking my broom trying to kill the stupid thing. And yeah, I don't like the red wasps. They're the worst. Pretty terrible. And yes, Kira, we need to find out what that gift was. I wonder if it was a Pokemon, because he loves those. Hey, Fantastic Freaks. Glad to have you here. And, well, while he's not here, I'm going to mention this to see if anybody... I know a lot of people don't like baseball, but fantasy baseball is super fun. And I don't watch baseball, but I play fantasy baseball just because there's so many stats, because you get a point for a home run, for a triple, a double, a stolen base. And there's so many players that do all different things that you really can't just get home run hitters and win. And I'm going to try to put together a fantasy baseball league for the Fish Tube people. And if we can get like 8 to 10 guys, I'll do it.
What are we doing?
Fantasy baseball Fish Tube. Last year when I asked John from KG if he'd want to play fantasy football, he said no, but he would play baseball.
Okay.
So I might be able to get John, but I still need a lot more. But yeah.
Okay, so my mother can't bend over or pick things up. So that's why she couldn't feed the dog or put something in the oven.
Oh, bummer.
What's this? You're talking about killing bees now, wasps?
Yeah, I was talking a little bit about that, but we want to know about what this gift was.
Oh, yes. So she gives me this thing. It's a little hedgehog.
Oh. That's awesome.
And for some reason, he opens up. And there's like a paper or something. I don't know, but yeah. So that's mine now.
Is there a hidden, like, can you hide notes in there?
Yeah, but it's literally like you could probably put. Maybe it's supposed to be for like an SD card or something, because that's how small it is.
Well, that's pretty awesome that you got a secret. Well, not a secret admirer, but
yeah, and he known admirer along with my my little Pokemon up here. We got Gengar.
Cool. Yeah, the hedgehog should be next to him.
We got an Eevee. We got a Piplup.
You have a Squirtle?
They don't have. I couldn't find a Squirtle in these, and then of course Pikachu, who apparently is part green because the green tree doesn't like him.
Ah. You know, Kira sounds like she killed her wasps with fire.
Oh, that's a good way to do it. Very good way to do it.
But it is, like John said, that's scary in your attic because
we used to have yellow jacket nests out in the yard somewhere, like in the rocks or in tree stumps or in the ground. My dad's solution was to take a 5-gallon bucket of gas and dump it down the hole and light it on fire.
I don't know if that would really work too well.
He's a Marine. It worked great.
Oh, well.
It went kaboof, and then there was just fire.
Oh. I didn't know if there'd be enough oxygen down there. It might eat it all. But, well, this guy, I mentioned the awesome video I watched today.
Okay.
I love watching bee and wasp videos. So whenever people make bee and wasp videos, I get them as suggestions. And I've never seen this guy before, but he said he normally kills his wasps by using a bucket of soapy water.
Okay.
But his brother had a wasp nest in his backyard, and he got stung real bad. So he went out there and used dry ice, and it worked.
Oh.
Because the CO2 that's in the dry ice is heavier than the oxygen, and it goes down and into it and freezes them all, and they all go to sleep. And he just dug it out and fed them. He took them out to his compost pile and fed them all to the skunks.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I don't know how smart the guy is because, like, he was showing off all the nests that he'd spread out next to the compost, but he's holding his baby. Oh. And I'm like, I don't think I would hold my 3-month baby next to the wasp.
No, I wouldn't either. So, are you ready to spin the wheel of movies, Ed?
Oh, jeepers. I hope it doesn't land in the 60s.
So I'm going to pull it up on screen, y'all, because would you like to do movies or decade first?
Let's do movies.
All right. Oh, okay. Drama. How many drama movies do you know?
Yeah, some.
Okay, here we go. Decades.
It'd be wonderful if it was 90s, because that's when I actually worked at the theater.
Oh, it's the 80s.
Okay.
Oh, that
Rocky.
Bad. Is that a drama?
I would say so.
Okay.
I mean, okay, you want better drama. Like, how about St. Elmo's Fire? How about The Breakfast Club? It's kind of...
The Breakfast Club's a good one.
Yeah, there's tons of them. That was a great decade for movies.
The Outsiders. I remember that one.
Oh, yeah. The Outsiders was really good, but what was the basketball team? The what do they call those guys from Indianapolis or Indiana? Is the Hoosiers. The Hoosiers was good.
Okay.
There's a whole mess of great dramas from that decade. There really are.
Yeah, hey, we did better on that one.
Yeah. Well, there might even be the late Godfather movies, too.
Okay.
Maybe. Like the last one. I don't know.
So, it was literally on the sliver of being documentaries.
Yeah. Untouchable was awesome, too.
Oh,
the Untouchables. But that might be action. Or crime.
Well,
I don't know what all the categories are.
Multiple genres.
Sure.
So, I believe I put action, comedy, superhero, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, drama, documentary, mystery, war. I can't read what the heck. Westerns.
Oh, wow. I love Westerns. There's a lot less Westerns than there were in the past.
Yes.
But there's a lot more superhero stuff.
True.
Most of the superhero stuff in the past is pretty horrible.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of hard to pull some superhero stuff out of some of those decades.
I'm sure there's some obscure one out there for each decade.
Yeah. Does Tarzan count as a superhero? He may have to.
Yeah.
Conan's from a comic book.
Close enough. I could probably
Maybe.
just change it to comic book movies, but
No, it's all right. Superhero makes sense. It was a genre that we really didn't have in the 80s because all the superhero movies sucked. Oh, except for like Batman. It was amazing.
who's
But
your favorite
still,
Batman? Either movie
Uh,
or TV show.
well, I mean, I absolutely love the cartoon, the one that went on for a
Forever.
decade. Yeah, on the WB. That was a great one.
And that was probably that one.
Mark
was-
Hamill as the
Yeah.
Joker.
that was probably the only one I watched.
It's amazing.
And then, I mean, Batman Beyond wasn't bad. That was the one that came right after that one.
Was that
It
was
was like-
McGinnis?
That was with the teenager.
Yeah, McGinnis.
Yeah, that one I didn't mind that one, but oh, I thought you said Beast Wars.
I actually came up with a screenplay for them to make a movie for that.
James, you're not going to argue with Ed and I that Batman's not a superhero.
Yeah, he's a superhero.
Okay, by that token, Tony Stark isn't a superhero.
I mean,
Elon Musk could be Batman, but he chooses not to be.
you got to think though, in the Batman universe, he doesn't fight many supernatural strong guys. A lot of them are just criminals.
Just assholes.
Yeah, the Joker doesn't have superpowers. You know, the Penguin, the Riddler, Scarecrow. Now, like Clayface does, he can be kind of, and Croc, he's kind of like a
Dr. Freeze
circus
count
freak.
is a supernatural being?
Dr. Freeze.
Yeah.
No, well, he was a human that wanted to preserve his wife because she died. And so he got really into the freezing stuff and he kind of affected himself or infected himself or whatever. Bane is kind of a supernatural guy. You know, he was a luchador that would take the juice, which was basically, you're thinking it's steroids, but it wasn't. But it'd make him gigantic.
Okay.
But he was super strong. The original Bane broke Batman's back and killed one of the Robins. Bane was a pretty bad guy for a while there in the comic book series. But like he never fights like Brainiac. Well, maybe he does. But Brainiac isn't in his universe. I mean, he is, but the guys that Superman fights isn't the same guys that Batman.
True. Yeah, I mean, I guess the only time they probably would have fought the same people is when they were on the Justice League, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Batman still held his own on the Justice League, so
It's amazing. Yeah, he's super smart. You know, he's a genius. He knows how to fight, and he's got the money. You know, I love Batman.
I was gonna say Adam West was my favorite Batman.
Yeah, who's your favorite villain from those? Mine is Vincent Price. He was Egghead. They made the character up for him. He was amazing.
Whoever did the Penguin in the movies was, I think, that's a good one. I can't remember.
Danny DeVito.
Was that him?
He was the Penguin in the second movie with Michelle Pfeiffer.
That might be the one.
And Fox. It was his. Wait, Michael Keaton.
Yes, that is him. Yep.
Yep.
I didn't
Yeah,
remember.
actually, DeVito did a wonderful job as the Penguin.
He went from the Penguin to the Lorax. What a weird transformation.
That is a creepy Penguin that he was.
That was really good. I liked it just for that, but
And he was kind of a circus freak in that one. But like normally the Penguin's not that big of a circus freak. Normally he's just kind of a short guy with a Napoleon complex. But yep. Well, we're all over the place.
I know. That is typical here.
Yeah, but yeah, I really like Batman. And which is my favorite Batman? It's really hard. For movies, man, you know, it's easier. Okay, I'd rather go worse, I guess.
Okay.
Michael Keaton's the first Batmans that came out was amazing because we never saw anything like that before. Yeah, with Jack Nicholson as the Joker. That movie was so awesome because I don't know if we ever had a good superhero movie that good. I mean, the superhero movies of the 80s were Superman, and I never liked those movies.
Yeah, I didn't like them.
People loved them, and I just didn't.
I mean, they were okay. But I don't know. Those guys have always been better when they're animated.
Yeah, but well, I kind of like the new Superman guy. That he's kind of a putz, but I like him. The British guy.
Yeah.
I think he does good. Oh, have you seen the new Superman TV show?
There's a new Superman TV show?
2 episodes so far. I saw the pilot and then the one that came out this week. I absolutely love it. And I'm not a Superman guy. And hopefully I keep loving it. I don't know. This Superman, he doesn't quite look like Superman because he kind of has a pointy face. I don't know. The face kind of looks a little different for Superman, but still, I really like it. What I don't like is Lex Luthor. Originally, I thought he was like the big bad guy in the pilot. You don't know if it's Brainiac or alien from another planet. Yeah. I mean, he looks like Superman, but he kind of has a pointy nose or something. I don't know. I don't know, but I like it. But the whole concept is he's been Superman for about 15 years, maybe 20 years. Him and Lois are married, and they have 2 teenage boys.
Okay.
And they're twins. So we're going to get to see if the boys become Superman or not.
All right.
And I kind of like that whole element. Oh my gosh, pan down a little bit. Was that Lois Lane with a Superman costume on? Oh, no, I don't know who that is.
That's Supergirl, and I guess this guy was in Supergirl as Superman.
That's where I've seen him before, and I thought he didn't look like Superman in that show. I've only seen a few of her shows. But that's interesting.
Well, that's cool. It'll be an interesting take on it.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit.
Did you like Smallville?
Yeah, and they moved back to Smallville.
Okay.
His mom had died, and he inherited the house, and the boys are like just freshmen in high school, so they're like going into puberty, so they're getting some superpowers and stuff. And he thought it would be easier to train them out on the farm than in the city.
Okay.
And yeah, I enjoy it. But Lex Luthor ends up being the big bad guy.
Of course.
But he should be, but he's not the billionaire Lecter.
Oh.
He's a warrior from a different dimension.
Has that happened in the comics before?
Yeah, there is this evil Superman, and he's like, he just wants the humans to. It's kind of a Superman. He gives up on humanity and just starts to like rule them like we're pets.
Hey, T-Bone.
And like he wears the black outfit and stuff, and he's kind of just a mean tyrant Superman. And so I guess that world just gets destroyed, and he gets into our universe, and his whole goal is to stop Superman from destroying our planet.
Okay.
But our Superman is married and has kids, unlike that one that was always just a bitter, grumpy guy. Hey, I don't have kids and I'm not married.
Why?
I'm not the evil Ed. Oh, well.
Why can't I think of the cartoon? It was the one where the bad guys lived in the swamp, and it was a superhero show.
Swamp Thing.
No, like their base was in the swamp or something. Something
Legion
League.
of Doom.
Yeah, that
Legion
one.
of Doom.
Why didn't I think of that?
That's a Justice League.
Oh, okay. I
That
just
went on
remember,
for about 10 years.
I remember that cartoon vaguely. That was probably right at the cusp of like was that the mid '80s that started?
No, it started in the 70s.
Oh, well, that's why I barely remember it because that was 20 years before me.
Yeah, it probably stopped like in 86.
See, I had because I was born in '92. I have like there's like a weird lapse for some reason where TV still ran like Thundercats and shows like that. So I still remember some of the older stuff, just not as well as I should.
I graduated high school in 92.
Welcome. Happy 29th anniversary of graduating high school.
Oh, it's so depressing.
Well, hey, you'll never forget your reunion year now.
Why?
Because it's the same age as me.
Oh, okay.
You just ask me how old I am, and you'll know what year I'd been graduated.
How old are you?
29.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm even going to go see mine.
I have my 5 year was at a freaking indoor soccer field, no food, no drinks, and it was the worst thing. We had the cops called on us. I didn't go.
I went to my 5 year, had a lot of fun. We just did it in the park, and it was we had a blast. It was a lot of fun. My 10 year, one of my best friends from high school, Jason Stanley. Okay, I was like a jock that hung out with the nerds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't want to introduce his wife to his friends, his nerds. He was our valedictorian. He never played a single sport. He got a varsity letter for being in scholar quiz.
Wow.
And so, but he went and sat at the jock table. And I was like, what a putz. But I graduated with the most varsity letters because I was on scholar quiz also.
Nice.
No, I was the only jock that was the nerd team. So, yeah, I was able to get more than one varsity letter in the same season.
I never did sports in high school. I was going to go for the golf team, but then I was like, this is too much of a hassle.
My Letterman's jacket is outside right now.
Oh.
It was in my closet, and I noticed that it had mold growing on the sleeves. So I pulled it out, and I put hot water and vinegar on it, and now it's sitting in the sun.
Oh, okay.
Haven't worn it in forever.
Well, that should clean it off.
Yeah. Maybe next week I'll wear my Letterman's jacket.
I was in choir for high school. Because in my district, you had to in elementary school, you had to choose between band, strings, and then once you got to middle school, you could only do band, string, or choir. You couldn't do two of the same thing. So in elementary school, we had choir from kindergarten through 5th grade, and you could do band or strings on top of it because it was after school. So I did band, and then when I got to middle school, they were like, "Okay, you have to choose one or the other." And I was like, "Well, this is crummy." So I did choir because we had a summer music camp that ran from like the whole month of July through August, so I could still play my instrument without having to worry about it. So they kept trying to get me to join the marching band too, and I'm like, no, I don't want to join the stupid marching band.
Yeah, I could be in band, but I had to give something up because I was just too busy, so I gave up band.
Yeah, my schedule like that. When I started, I had a busy senior schedule, and then I was like, why am I taking physics? I don't like math, so I dropped physics, and then I dropped something else. And my schedule was I got to school at 7:30, and I would leave at noon every day because I didn't have 3 periods at the end of the day. So you could leave, got an early pass to leave.
Oh, wow. Well, my senior year, I had taken all my requirements already.
Yeah.
And I took yearbook class, 2 PE classes. I took drafting class because that was just like a fun class. Or CAD, it was computer aided drafting. I took home ec and a couple of study halls. And then what my my PE coach liked me so much, he would say, Ed, if you don't want to sit there in study hall, you could just stay in PE and play with us all the end of the day, I would just play sports for the last 4 hours.
So that's cool.
It was great.
Yeah, I mean, the only things I liked in gym class were floor hockey, ultimate frisbee, and volleyball. Other than that, I could care less. We played flag football one time, and I think they had me on the defense. I don't know where the hell I was. All I know is some kid, instead of just pulling the flag on my waist, full tackled me onto the ground. So the gym teacher comes running over. He's like white as a ghost because he thinks I'm like knocked out or something. And I'm like, I'm fine. He's like, you got to go to the nurse. You got to go to the nurse. I'm like, I'm fine. So he makes me get up and go to the nurse. And then I had to sit there for a half an hour because all the nurses are busy with the kids that don't want to be in class. So it was like, this is the stupidest thing ever. The kid tackled me. Big whoop.
I don't even remember where the nurse was in my high school. I never went to the nurse.
I never went to the nurse in high school because by that point I had a cell phone. So if I wasn't feeling well, I would just text my mother and she'd come pick me up.
Well, in elementary school, they'd make you go to the nurse to check to see if you had lice and stuff.
They started doing that here again because I think parents were sending their kids to school with lice.
Well, I got lice in elementary school. Everybody in, like, I think it was my kindergarten class that got it. Because, you know, we put all of our jackets and hats in the cubby.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't like individuals. It was just one little closet. Yep. And they're just all packed.
Yep.
And I think that's how everybody would get it.
Yeah, we still do that here because we have an older school. And even in my elementary school, I think we might have had like little cubby boxes, but still they were all together. So they could have jumped around. But yeah, the same thing here. One kid gets it, the whole freaking class gets it. And we had to send 4 kids home today for quarantining because somebody at home was COVID. Somebody at home was exposed. So we had to send 4 kids home. We had to send a bunch of aides home, and the fucking parents are coming to pick their kids up. It's like, you were at home and you're exposed. Send someone else to pick the kid up.
Yeah.
The whole point of your kid not being in the building is so no one else is in risk of getting exposed. And then you who were more directly exposed is coming to get the kid. Oh, you were skipping. How do you skip study hall?
I only got in trouble once in school. I got 1 detention all the way through high school, and I argued it because it was a joke. It was the typing and computer teacher, Mr. Lambert. And it's probably part of the reason why I am so untech savvy, because I hated the guy, so I never took a computer class in high school. But he had a list, and he wanted to make sure that he gave every kid a detention within their 4 years.
Why?
It was his thing.
Oh, God.
So the first day of school, my senior year, he gave me a detention for coming into school 5 minutes early. And he said, you know better than that. I'm like, yeah, right. There's no such thing. And there was, I guess, there's some rule. You're not supposed to be there too early. But I had to make sure that my football pads, I wasn't for sure if I had my football pads at home, in the washing machine, or in the locker. So I was at my friend's house early in the morning because I picked people up, and I was like, oh, crap, we got to get straight to school. And I checked, and they were there, so I didn't have to go home. But he gave me a detention. And if you get a detention during football season, you got to like run 5 miles because you miss an hour of your practice. And so I went to the principal, and I said, there is no way I'm taking a detention during football season for coming to school 5 minutes early. And he says, I know. Lambert's just always a pain in my, well, not ass, but back or whatever. You know, maybe he said ass. But he says, how about a 5-minute detention during lunch? So he said, after you eat your lunch, go in the library and sit down for 5 minutes. And I said, deal. And I went in there, and Lambert gave me a detention for being in the library during lunch.
Oh my God.
And then what was fun, and I said, I can't leave because Mr. Patton, I'm serving a detention for Mr. Patton here. And then he stormed off to go talk to Mr. Patton.
Of course.
And, gosh, what was that girl's name? I got a date out of it. This girl came up and asked if she could wear my jersey and if I wanted to go out that weekend. I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. Gosh, remember her name. She was a sophomore. She was cute. She's a school teacher now. She teaches Spanish. Gosh.
Yeah, I only got
Hollenbeck. Her last name was
only got
Hollenbeck.
one detention all the way from kindergarten through to 12th grade. And it was because I dropped my pen during a writing test. And this horrible teacher was like, "You're cheating. You have a detention." I'm like, "I'm picking up my pen." And because I talked back to her, she said, "That's another one."
Oh.
So after I went to our principal. I'm like, this woman gave me a detention because I was picking my pen up off the floor. So I think she was like, "Okay, we'll make it a lunch detention. Just go in her room and eat your lunch."
Yep. That was.
Anyway, I've just been informed that our dinner is here, and apparently it's time sensitive that it gets eaten because it's fried fish.
Oh.
We're gonna cut this.
Oh, are you Catholic?
No.
Oh, okay. I probably shouldn't have asked you that. I don't know if that's a
Protestant. I don't know what the hell we are anymore.
Well, Catholics like to eat fish after. Has Lent started?
It should. I think it should have because Easter's early this year. No, my mom's just me for fish and chips.
That's what my mom had today. We took Dad to the hospital because I did all the driving, and they took me to lunch.
Okay.
And she had that.
Nice.
That's cool. But yep.
So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. I know it was like 4 or 5 minutes early, but it was fun to hang out.
Steele's in the house. Said hi.
Hello, and hello, John Larson. Sorry that we're heading out a little early, but thanks y'all for hanging out. Catch Ed tomorrow night on Saturday Night Fever over on James's channel, Fishing Fever, and you can see me and Ed again here next week around 4:15 Eastern time. Have a good day every night, everybody, and a good weekend.